This is obviously a Ruger 1022, but it's a Ruger 1022 Magnum, 22 WMR Winchester Magnum rimfire. What, you say? Didn't know such a thing existed? Well, it's been almost 20 years since this was produced. It was produced for a handful of years in the early 2000s. It might have started in the late 90s. And Ruger discontinued it. Honestly, kind of respect them. They said, you know what? We can't keep this thing reliable. And there were different theories about why it wasn't reliable, but one of the main contributing factors is this, the WMR round itself. You can imagine it's still a lightweight round, maybe a little bit heavier than your average 22, but it's generally the same. So for practical purposes, you've got very similar amounts of weight. You've got more powder, but you also have tremendously more surface area. And you have very little space, right? Proportionately, for any kind of leeway or play or tolerance or anything else that's going to reduce potentially any friction between this case and the chamber walls. So less power, more surface area, and inconsistency in the wide variety of rounds in terms of the exact weight of the bullet and the exact amount of powder pushing it just resulted in too many variables for this system to keep up with, not enough power to overcome the variables. Now, there are other companies who have done some things to vent gas. There's actually one patent I'm aware of that deals with the design of the chamber. There are some ways to make the 22 WMR more reliable, but Ruger just decided it wasn't worth it. They cited both the reliability issues and the lack of interest from the consumer, but I have to think it was the reliability issues that probably caused the lack of interest from the consumer. Now, this gun has been really reliable for me, and I tend to run the PDX rounds from Winchester pretty consistently in them, and honestly, that's what I would be interested in. Now, I don't stage this gun for personal defense, but I wouldn't feel bad if this was the gun that I had staged for personal defense. You know, maybe I'd put a different stock on it, probably put a red dot on it, maybe put a laser light combo on it, something like that, some rail sections, clean it up a little bit. But think about how fast just about anyone with the lowest level of skill could fire multiple rounds of 22 Winchester Magnum down the hallway, across the bedroom, across the open floor plan of their house. You know, I'm not suggesting that we think about 22 WMR for a battle round or for a patrol rifle, but for a family home defense gun, I don't think you'd be too far off from something that would work really, really well, right? Knowing what we know about bad guy behavior, bad guy kicks the door in, starts getting shot at, most of the time they turn around and run, whether they get hit or not. And certainly getting hit 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times in a second or second and a half, maybe 2 seconds, even for the least skilled shooter. Almost no recoil. Very, very effective round in terms of penetration, right? You're going to get into the body. Now, it's small surface area. It's not a lot of energy being transferred, but you're going to poke holes in that bad guy, and you're going to be able to do it really, really fast with a relatively short, relatively lightweight, very easy to use, very positive safety, keep it staged appropriately, of course, firearm. I think that's something to be considered. I am a big fan of the 22 WMR. In fact, we did some 22 WMR ASARs through Avidity Arms just last year and shipped those out. I think most of them ended up going into Massachusetts, where our ASAR was popular because you can get rimfire guns that are fully built out, let's say, and not having to deal with any of their ban issues in Massachusetts. But I am a big fan of the round. Obviously, how can you not be a fan of the Ruger 1022? Earlier in this video series for the National Shooting Sports Month, I talked about a very highly customized 1022 that I had. This 1022 is not at all customized. It is just set up and ready to go. It's such a goofy little finicky thing they have there. So I did say it was very, very reliable. And it has been as far as shooting, but I still have to be reliable in the manual of arms on the 1022. It's an American classic. This one obviously is set up so you can put the proprietary Ruger type attachment like a lot of 1022s are, but we have some nice iron sights set up here. And we talk about just the speed with which these rounds can be fired. I got a piece of steel over here. Just think about, that's just no movement, really fast, quick burst of rounds. The gun isn't going to go anywhere, and you're going to get that tight group into the high center chest. Now, for varmints, you know, maybe even coyotes up close, but definitely for I don't know, whatever, your porcupines, your raccoons, that kind of predator control kind of thing. Plinking, may as well stick with the 22 long rifle. But if you're going to want the same kind of configuration, if you can find one of these on the used market, if you're like me and you got a chicken coop out back, or you're living out in the middle of nowhere in the woods and you want something for that small predator control, again, the raccoon, the possums, things like that, 22 WMR is going to be better than the 1022 in 22 long rifle for sure. And this would be what you'd want, I would think. And of course, you can still take the kids out with the 22 LR and get your practice and have it set up exactly the same way. No noticeable difference in weight with the 1022 WMR. Obviously, the receiver is going to be a little different. The bolt's going to be a little different. The magazines obviously are different as well. And one of the downsides to this is I don't believe there were any aftermarket, like the Butler Creek or whatever. I don't think there were ever any of the banana magazines or the higher capacity magazines made for the 1022. If you know that there are some out there, drop some notes in the comments, let me know. Of course, this is part of the National Shooting Sports Month series that I'm doing, bringing guns out that I haven't shot in a while. It has been a while since I've shot this thing. I've got a 22 Hornet that I really like set up at the house for those varmints, as well as if the bigger varmints, the bears and what coyotes come by, I've got a 300 Blackout set up. So I don't particularly have a use for the 22 WMR, but I do think it would fill a nice niche, not just for predator control in the rural environment, but to be considered as a house gun. But 100%, you need to make sure that this gun is going to be reliable with you, with your chosen ammo, if you are going to put it in that role. And that means getting out and practicing and having the entire family practice, maybe not needing to worry so much about that manual of arms, because if you stage it properly, safety on, get through that quick access safe, or maybe you have some other setup that you've got, a clamshell, something like that, that would hold a rifle for your family to be able to use, RFID, biometric, things like that. Is there a firearm maybe that you would consider, not for yourself, maybe not for you because you've got the training and all that, but is there maybe an oddball cartridge or firearm specifically that you would recommend to, especially a family setup or people that we're not going to put the training time, effort, and energy in, maybe that we'd like to see them put in? They need something that's very easy to use, very easy as far as recoil management, easy and ergonomic as far as alignment, being able to get that gun on the target to stop a threat inside their house. Is there something that's a non-traditional, let's say, proposal you want to make in the comments? Let me know. Share this video to people who are into 1022s who maybe because they just got into firearms in the last 20 years had no idea that this existed. National Shooting Sports Month, great opportunity to share interesting and unique gun information, and obviously information about unique firearms models with all your friends or with the internet. Thanks for watching this video. Share all the videos and get out to the range and shoot.